Next, we're going to go to our virtual tour, and this week we have Northland Machine, who provides full manufacturing capabilities for all your prototyping and production needs, with services including design, CNC machining, welding, fabrication, painting, and full assembly. We got Dustin Thibodeau. He started machining in 2004 and has been doing it ever since. As a former business owner in Oregon, he manufactured awards, trophies, and personalized gifts. And he is now an estimator and shift supervisor at Northland Machine, which is located in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I guess the floor is yours, Dustin.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. Northland Machine was opened up in 1980 by Marv Gustafson, and he is still the owner of the place. We have approximately 30,000 square feet between two different buildings here. We have quite a few CNC machines between us, between the two buildings, and this is one of our CNC lathes. It's a Integrex 300. It's a dual spindle with mill turning. This machine, basically, you put a chunk of steel in there and make an engine block all at once in there. It's a big machine. It's got a lot of capabilities. This is another one of our CNC lathes with mill turning. It's a lot smaller, but it's very quick. It makes small parts very quick. It also has mill turn. We do a lot of stainless parts in that machine. This is one of our vertical mills. It's one of the smaller ones that we have. It's got about a 36-inch Y travel and probably about 20 and 36-inch in X and about 20 in Y and about 15 in Z. But again, it's very quick. It does small parts fast. This is one of our big horizontal mills. This is a Nexus 6800. It has a 600 millimeter pallet on it. This will give you an idea of the size of parts that can be done on this machine. I think the travel in it in X and Y is right around 48 inches. So basically, you could do a 48-inch block in there. This is our Fadal. It's a 80-30. It's got 80 inches of travel in X and 30 in Y. We do a lot of mold making, and that is specifically what that machine is for. It does all the mold making. It is the only machine we have in the shop that is not a Mazak. Other than that, we have all Mazaks. This is our Palatec System. Our Palatec System is 3 horizontal Mazak mills that are all hooked together and controlled by one of the machines. And there's a robot that grabs pallets and moves it from machine to machine. So you got 2 loading stations. You got 3 machines hooked together. One person can run all 3 machines at the same time without too much hassle. Yeah, you got to work, but it works. It's got 20 different pallets on it, and size-wise in there, it's not as big as the 6800. These are 4800, so it's got a 400 millimeter pallet on it. So you can, about 20 inches square is what you can turn in there. That just gives you an idea of what the robot looks like. It grabs the pallets and moves it from machine to machine. This is a vertical mill. It's capable of doing 200 inches in length. So I think that's one of the only ones in the state that can do that length of stuff. We've actually done parts in there that are 240 inches. If you can kind of squeeze things around and move them around. We have done stuff that's longer. It's not real easy, but it's possible. And this is another SVC vertical mill. It is capable of 120 inches. This one is a VTC-20. It is an older machine, and it's funny because anytime anybody starts here, they look at that machine and they say that's a piece of junk. That's a great machine. It's old, but it's very trustworthy and very accurate. This is our assembly shop. We do a lot of assembly of axles for ASV, among other assembly stuff. You can see there on the racks, there's some of the tubes and stuff for ASVs. This is some of the tubes being assembled. This is stuff being washed before it gets painted. We have a full paint booth up there and everything to get everything painted. This is axles after they've been painted, and you can see the paint booth back there behind. We do also fabrication. This is one of the fabrications that we made a snow bucket for an ASV. So we can pretty much fabricate anything. And then we got our quality department. We have two CMMs, which is a computer measuring machine. And what it does, you put a part on there, and of course you have to write the program for it, and it'll measure every part and tell you where every position is on that particular part. This is the machine working on a part, and that is another part. This is our weld shop. We have a pretty good-sized weld shop. We have several welders. We have lathes, welding lathes. This is one of the welding lathes and being worked on. We do our own design here. We design for customers and stuff like this. This is three of us together trying to figure out a design on a particular part. We use SolidWorks here and CamWorks for writing programs. This is some of the parts that we've made. Let me go back one here. This is on that Palatec system. You can see some of the fixtures for holding parts get pretty intricate. You can see there's hydraulics and stuff that clamp the part on there to hold it in place while we're doing the machining on it. These are a bunch of axles that have been made. And here's some other stuff. That nut, to give you an idea, that's an M48 nut. So it's a pretty good sized nut there. These are some axles that are for railroads. These are just some different parts. They're called O-ring bosses. We have to hold the chamfer in there has to be held at a really tight tolerance for an O-ring. These are some other. These are inlets. We do a lot of casting stuff here too. These are some parts that aren't machined. They're just cut and welded together and then painted and sent out to the customers. Oop, too far there. This is a picture of axles after they've been. You got an axle in a tube, and actually every part that's in that thing, there is an axle that goes in the middle. There's little caps that are on the end we make here. The tube we make here, and then they're assembled up in the assembly shop, and then we wash and paint them here too. This is some of the longer parts that we've done. I'm not sure how long those are. And this is just a close-up picture of an aluminum extrusion that we do. I can see now that I got that picture up there, that one's got a big nick in it. It's probably no good, and that's just a picture of it a little bit farther away. And that is all I got. I hope I didn't go too quick for everybody, and I'll answer any questions you got.
Great, thank you very much, Dustin. So just as we did with Matt, if you have any questions for Dustin, feel free to put them in the chat, and I will relay those. And so I do have one here for you. I know you touched a little bit on robotics. Can you can you talk about how you have or maybe haven't implemented robotics at your facility?
Well, the only thing we have for robotics would be the Palatec system that just uses the robot to grab pallets to move it from machine to machine. That is the only thing for robotics that we've done here. We haven't really even talked about implementing any other kind of robotics. Most of the stuff we don't do really large quantities of stuff. Not that we wouldn't if we had the orders, but most of the stuff we do is only for under 100 pieces. So implementing a robot to do that would not be cost effective.
Okay, and you mentioned you're in Grand Rapids?
Yes, we are in Grand Rapids. We are right off Highway 2 between Grand Rapids and Cohasset.
How many employees are at your shop?
We have 22 employees.
So now, speaking of automation, do you have any automated vision inspection?
We do not.
And what oh, go ahead.
We use just the CMMs we do, so everything has to be programmed ahead of time in order to, for each part, everything has to be programmed ahead of time to get the measurements off a specific part.
What are the biggest quality control issues you run into?
Oh, man, biggest quality control. I'm not sure how to answer that question. That's a tough one. There's a lot of them. I suppose it's the biggest thing is stuff being over-engineered. We get stuff in that it's just a bolt hole clearance, but they put a plus or minus 0.5 tolerance on it. Of course, we can hold that, but the price goes way up. But that is the kind of quality. Most of the quality issues that we have is stuff like that.
Fair enough. Do you do work from all over, local or regional?
Most of our work is done right in this area. We do work for L&M Radiator. We do work for ASV, Hibbing Fabricators. I can't think anymore right off the top of my head. There's quite a few more, but for the most part, it's just right here locally. Not locally, within the range area.
Okay. How heavy of a work piece can your large machines handle?
Oh boy, I will have to check into that. I know I have stuck. I've put stuff in there that our forklift can't lift, so over 5,000 pounds.